Incoming transmission from an unknown source. It seems to be urgent. Patching them through. They're calling themselves the HoloNet Marauders.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. I'm AJ, joined here by my bomb bad Jedi musicians.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Jedi musician.
Yeah.
Has there ever been one? Except for the guy
Probably.
from...
That could be our next build a character. Build a musician.
Build a
Build a
band!
Build a band!
Build a
All right.
band. All
We're
right.
in.
No, just kidding. That's what we're
Write
doing
that down,
today.
write that down.
So today we're going to be talking about our favorite Star Wars soundtracks. I'll get to more details in a minute. But before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube for more Marauder content. Be sure to follow us on your podcasting platform of choice on if you're listening to this, and be sure to give us a 5-star rating or just a rating. I mean, if you think we're cool, 5 stars. If you think we're just kind of cool, maybe 4 stars.
You think we're drool?
5 stars.
Drool.
5 stars? Yeah.
Droll.
Nailed it. Nailed that.
Matt doesn't watch that Clone Wars episode.
I hate that Clone Wars episode. I don't even know what it is.
Anywho, we are here to talk about our favorite Star Wars soundtracks. We're going to each be listing our top 5 since season 2 of Mando.
Second episode ever. The second episode of HoloNet Marauders. Oh, sorry.
I was going to quiz you guys. I was going to quiz you guys on what episode that was, but
isn't that
you already
number
know.
1?
No,
it
was 2.
The first one was about Mando season 2, episode 1 and 2.
Mm.
We talked about Cobb Vanth. It was called the Cobb Totem on Cobb because I was very excited about.
I went back and listened to that episode, our second episode ever, from November of 2021.
Yeah.
No, 2020. You're right.
2020. We've been doing this for almost 3 years. What do you think this is?
I forgot. I don't know.
What amateur hour.
So second episode ever.
Professionals.
I went back and re-listened. We thought that was just about soundtracks, guys. We ranked our top three all-time soundtrack songs, whatever you want to call it, of score.
was good.
Pieces.
That's what you call it.
We did that, and I can tell you our choices in a minute. But we also ranked our top 3 individually soundtracks, like from a movie, like overall.
Okay.
And we also ranked our top 3 movie posters.
What?
All in one episode.
I did not prepare for posters this time, but I did prepare for the album because I remembered that was a good thought.
We will not be doing all of that. We'll just be ranking our top 5 pieces since then.
How about our top 5 pieces of Yoda merch?
That's a future.
Matt,
this is number 1.
You would win.
So,
why does he have like a mustache?
Because he's got marker on his face. This one's for Erland. You get this one for free, buddy. Here he is.
Are you gonna send that to Erland?
I'm gonna send. No, I'm showing it to him.
No, he's showing
he gets the showcase for free.
I'm gonna.
If you want to see the rest of my Yoda merch, subscribe to our Patreon for more great Yoda merch content. See, I can do it too.
Good job, Matt. So I mentioned liking and subscribing here, but also subscribe to our Patreon. We're actually doing a giveaway right now. We're gonna start doing giveaways on there. It's a one of the retro, like rainbowy Luke Skywalkers. But yeah, go check out our Patreon. Go check out our social media. We have a bunch of fun stuff on there. But who wants to hear about our list from 2020? Our top 3 soundtracks. You guys want to hear these?
Yeah.
I think I know what I picked for number 1. I think I remember.
So the previously on HoloNet Marauders, the top soundtracks, our personal favorites, was the entire saga of all of the movies and Mando season 1. And that's
Mando
it.
Season 1. We just all of our things were just from movies.
That's all that was out. We didn't include the Clone Wars. I remember that specifically. Or Rebels. We just did the movies and the one show that was out at the time.
Yep. So my top 3, from 3 to 1. That's how I'll do it. So Rey's theme was 3 for me.
Okay.
2 was Palpatine's theme.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
and one was Asteroid Field.
And then I went into a big story about my dad.
You and your dad with
Solo,
the Boston Pops,
loving the Boston Pops thing, Pops in Space. Yeah, I remember that.
There it is.
Good. That was like it was yesterday. That was only what, like 6 months ago?
Yeah, sure. Almost 3 years ago. So Jamie's in reverse order was Marauders Arrive,
Yep.
March of
Solo.
the Resistance,
Yep.
and Yoda's theme.
Yoda's theme's
Which
good.
I don't know if it has a proper name. It probably does. It's probably
It
like
is.
chilling
No,
on Dagobah.
it's Yoda's
It's just
theme.
Yoda's theme. Okay.
It's not chilling on Dagobah.
Which is like
Dagobah
also
slut.
kind of just like the Force theme, like the classic.
Yeah, sort of.
There's like the Force theme, then there's like Obi-Wan's like.
I think of like the doo-doo-doo.
That's
Obi-Wan's
Rebels.
flourish.
different.
Yeah, that's the Force theme is what I'm getting at.
No, it's not.
So Matt's top 3 was Reminiscence Therapy was 3
All right.
from
Good
Solo.
choice. Yeah.
Right, okay,
Flag
yeah.
Parade from Phantom Menace was number 2, which is great.
It is.
No, it's great. I'm just laughing because I'm thinking of that scene.
Great scenes, great.
And number 1, Padme's Ruminations.
Yeah, and that's still probably my favorite Star Wars song.
How could we forget?
I think that's the funniest list out of all of these.
Because it's like you're jumping from like one scene where this animal is farting in the face of Jar Jar, and then the next song is Padme crying her eyes out at the burning of the Jedi Temple.
And just like Solo, Phantom Menace, or Revenge of the Sith. Like that's a funny little...
that's all over the place.
Yeah. Mine was like Force Awakens, Empire. So yeah, that's our look back there. But now we're going to be talking about our favorite ones since Mando season 2, basically here.
Since midway through Mando season 2, because I picked something from Mando season 2.
Yes,
that's fine. I would even allow. I thought about this because Matt was saying that this was going to be hard to work with. There wasn't a lot to work with here, and I made my list. I literally have 12 things, and I had to pick 5. I'm like, this is really hard.
Oh,
we might be working with. We might be working with more here than we were with the first episode because we only did the movies really with that.
Yeah,
this is like a bunch of TV shows. Which
do you want me to do the list of all of the stuff that's come out since?
Of shows, yeah.
So, Mando season 2 and season 3, Book of Boba Fett, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch season 1 and 2, Visions 1 and 2, Jedi Survivor, Kenobi, Andor, and I also tossed on here the Galaxy's Edge music because there's a lot that's come out in the past couple of years, and Young Jedi Adventures. If you've got anything from that,
I'm sorry, I have not gotten around to watching Young Jedi Adventures to listen to all the music.
But I had to put it on there. Yeah.
I feel like we're still missing something there, but yeah, that's the gist of it. We probably wouldn't have anything too crazy off of that list anyways. So
there's some original music in the audiobooks that they do now that I actually kind of dig.
The audiobooks too.
Yeah, there's like the theme for the Path of the Open Hand is pretty funny. Just pops up randomly and you're like, okay, all right.
Anyways,
listen to some music now.
Anyways, who wants to kick us off with number 5?
Should we do some honorable mentions later? Because I got like 7.
Honorable mentions usually come
I'm thinking
after 2. Before we get to 1 to build this.
So I'm thinking we're gonna do our 5 to 1, and then if someone says something from a show and you have something burning that is an honorable mention that didn't make your top 5, but it's like from that show.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's ease into it. Okay.
After two.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the style.
Yeah, clearly.
All right.
So Watch Mojo does it.
Oh, okay.
All right, sure. So yeah, my number 5 is the Book of Boba Fett theme song.
Oh, you mean the one that incorporates the Crimson Dawn theme?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I got really burned on that when that didn't actually happen. But no, I loved the Boba theme that popped up in season 2 of Mando, and then Ludwig Göransson and Joseph Shirley just like mashed it together to be that core of the Book of Boba Fett, and I loved all of the score from Book of Boba Fett. It was just so strong. But I love the theme song, and it is one that I will just like listen to like again and again, and I love it so much. Like we even did like the little intro for our lives and everything, and that was like one of my favorite moments. That's the one that made
your list, right?
Yes, actually.
That version of the song.
That's the one you chose, not the actual theme.
No, the actual theme. The actual theme.
But the one we messed around and did was like the
ending.
Mando Book of Boba theme.
No, yeah, so not that one.
No, the Mando Boba theme, I should say.
But I mean the actual theme song to Book of Boba Fett, which has like when you get towards the end, the themes from Crimson Dawn, but actually wasn't Crimson Dawn.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, but no, I loved the theme song from Book of Boba Fett because I also remembered last year at a convention, that song was playing on a loop the entire time we were there. And I have good and bad memories from just like listening to the same song over and over for like 8 hours straight. But it's a good time. But I that's my number 5.
I like when the guys go, whoa. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
my
good.
favorite.
So that one is on my list, but I won't spoil where it is. So, and I'll save my talking about it until then. But yeah, no, it's a great choice. I agree. It's on my list.
Right.
Matt, what do you have at number 5?
What did I have for number 5? I think I switched it around at the last minute. I have Mom's song from In the Stars,
Ooh.
which is the Visions
Yes.
season 2
That is
episode.
so good.
Is that the one where you thought they died at the end, but they didn't?
Yeah.
Or we don't know. But okay, no, that's
probably
good.
didn't.
That almost made my list as well. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Dude,
Yeah.
that song makes me tear up. Like I'm
It's
not
so
even kidding.
good.
That song is so good. It gives me like a lump in my throat. I rewatched In the Stars. I think I gave it a 7 on our ranking, and I'm absolutely nuts.
You're
That's
nuts.
a 9. That's a 9 out of 10. That thing jumps 2
That-
spots for me on rewatch because I was just like, oh my god, this is so good.
That one
Yeah.
moves me so much.
Oh,
Like that one's
one
like
moved me too.
that's a tearjerker out of all.
I
Yeah.
keep going back to that short. Like if people who are still just getting to Visions and they're like, oh, I just watched this one, and I'm like, you have to watch In the Stars. Like it is easily my favorite one. Like that song is a
So
big
good.
reason of why.
Yeah, incredibly powerful. Just like really, really well done. Visions, some good music. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Foreshadowing.
You guys have more Visions on your list coming up?
I have an honorable mention, Visions.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
No spoilers. I'm glad I made it. My number 5 is not a tearjerker or very moving. It's the Adelphi jukebox.
Yes.
Mando 3. When we see Zeb, we all know Zeb was the one who put that on the jukebox. Like that, when that music came on, it just blew me out of the room. And that was one of my favorite moments of Mando season 3 too. Seeing that little, what'd you call it, like a Vietnam style base.
Yeah,
for
like the
Res-
Quonset
Yeah.
huts and
for
everything.
the New
It's
Republic.
so
Yeah.
good.
I guess that's what I would call it. Adelphi.
That's what I can't think of a better way to describe it.
And they got like they got the Credence. They got the Star Wars version of Credence on,
Yeah,
the,
just-
on the radio
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah, exactly. So like when I was researching today, I was like, okay, Mando season 3, what do we got here? Oh, Adelphi jukebox. I have to put that on there because when they released the albums, I mean, you guys listen to more like score than I usually do. Like I usually just listen to like straight up regular music when I'm driving around or whatever. But occasionally when I do listen to Star Wars stuff, I have a good time. But when Mando season 3 came out and they released, there's 2 things on my list that like I had to listen to it the moment they released it, and that was one of them. And the
I
other
know
one, what?
I think I know the other one.
You probably do, and I think it's just an honorable mention, unfortunately.
That one made my honorable mentions too, which is actually kind of surprising. If we're talking about the same one, because I'm actually surprised it didn't make your like number 1.
It like did, and then
Maybe
it
I'm thinking
like
about
dropped.
something else.
Like that's how hard this list was to do. So
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else because I think this should be your top 1. If it's not,
I think you are talking about what I'm talking about. But anyways, let's go reverse backwards order. So I'll do my number 4 here.
Reverse backwards order.
Niamos. Is there an exclamation mark in there? I think there is.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the one I thought you were talking about.
No. I thought you were talking about Mando season 3 still.
No. I thought we were talking about like diegetic.
Oh yeah.
music,
So
like,
this was, you're right. This was one of the ones I had to listen to the moment it came out. So there's different versions of this.
you were blasting it.
What is like the
Club remix.
regular? What is the regular one we hear with the ocean panning scene?
That's the
so
non-club.
This
mix.
is farther on my list, and I can do a deep dive into it if you want later, or I can talk about it now. If
Do
you
half.
want.
Do half.
Do you have?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get to my notes. To answer your question, the one that we hear on the beach is just called. Hang on, I'm on the wrong page.
Which is the first time I think we hear it.
No, the first time
No,
we
the first
hear
time
it.
we hear it is in the club. That's the
All right,
club.
don't
mix.
mind. Oh, you're right. You're right. Don't mind me.
But no, the
Bravo.
one that you hear on the beach is called Niamos! Exclamation point. Galaxy Mix.
That's the
Nice.
one. Yep.
You like that
So-
one? I like the club mix better.
I like both, but I like that one. That one really.
Club
Sends it
mix
for
is
me.
crunchier. I like the crunchiness.
They're good. And then there's the Coruscant mix. I think it's a little
Yep.
more chill.
Really, this
Yeah.
Coruscant mix? When did they
Yeah,
do
It's
that?
the Coruscant Lounge Mix. It's
Then there's
playing
the
in the back
Mantel
of Mock
mix.
Party.
in the back of Marn's blasting Nyamos.
Yeah, it's very like reverbed and almost like a Muzak, kind of like a
Oh, I love
vibe to
that.
it.
Muzak.
Oh, I gotta listen to that.
I don't think you guys heard my
Muzak.
comment.
What did you say?
I said there's also a Mantel mix.
I heard you, but I was talking about
Everyone was stone
Nyamos.
faced.
I'm sorry. I'll laugh now.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Mantel
Oh.
mix?
Mantel Mix? You mean that
I
stuff
thought-
at Galaxy's Edge that we found that one time? That was
Yeah.
totally Mantel Mix and totally there after Bad Batch and not before.
Exactly. All right, Matt, what do you have for number 4?
Jesus, I should just keep the list open. Where the Neckos roam.
Oh!
Hey.
No! You... Oh.
That's on my honorable mentions. That's a great one.
Dude, I spent literally, I listened to the entire soundtrack for Survivor to find this specific track, but also just because the soundtrack for Survivor is just unbelievable. I have another song from the soundtrack on my honorable mentions, but this is the only one that made the list. Where the Neckos roam is so friggin' good.
Yes.
I will sometimes just like sit there and just listen to it, like just play. Like Cal will just be like sitting there kicking dirt, and I'm just vibing to just how good the Kobo theme is, because that's a Kobo theme. If you
hear it a zillion times when you leave the saloon. It plays every time, and it's like, oh, here we are, we're home.
Exactly. I love it, and it's like it perfectly encapsulates, because there's so many different parts to it. There's so many different movements in the song, in the piece. And it's like sometimes I'll find myself transitioning from one part of Kobo to another, and the song will like switch up the parts of the music too, and it just like blends perfectly, and it's like, oh, that's so good.
That's all of Survivor's score, really, too. It's like
Survivor's score, insanely
so good.
Oh my god, what's his name?
All right, we'll dive in. Stephen Barton and Gordy Hab, they did the score for Survivor.
They
also
nailed
the
Star Wars
did
sound perfectly.
They did it for Fallen Order as well.
Yeah.
For like context as well, Stephen Barton also did like the newest Watch Dogs, and he did Apex Legends, and then Gordy Hab did Halo Wars, and he's done all of the other recent Star Wars games, like both Battlefronts. He's done Squadrons, and then something else recently too. But like they both nail Star Wars so well.
Oh, absolutely. It's the flutes, dude. They got the flutes down. Somehow, it's that little trill of the flutes
horns
that they just literally like, it's like they held John Williams at gunpoint and they were like, give me your secret. And he's like, just the flutes.
It's the flutes.
It's the flutes. And they were like, oh, we got it.
Secret formula.
Yeah, that's the John Williams secret formula is just
ravioli. Give me the formula.
That's it. They dressed as robot John Williams and infiltrated the London Symphony Orchestra. And they were like, hey, fellow humans, what's the secret to a good Star Wars song?
And then real John Williams walked in and SpongeBob kicked him onto a bunch of tartar sauce.
Yep. And then there was a giant hand. I think that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was actually also the Adelphi jukebox.
Hey, I didn't think anyone else was gonna get it.
And then
wow, that's funny.
Yeah, I love that. I just love it so much. And then I was quickly going to pick Where the Neckos Roam. And then you also picked it.
You're right.
What do you mean you quickly? That was your number 3 or what?
Well,
she was gonna pick an alternate for you because you already had yours, and I picked her alternate.
Matt picked. You guys picked both of my alternates for number 4. So my number 4, which didn't make the cut, but it should have before, is the Cobb Vanth theme. Which is also like a really big piece continuing on through season 2 of The Mandalorian, and then like a little bit in Book of Boba Fett. Not as much, believe me, I combed the soundtrack looking for it again.
Version.
But there wasn't, but I love that theme. Especially like if you go on YouTube, there's like Western versions of it and like epic versions of it, and like the Cobb Vanth theme has been extensively covered. And I love it so much.
Cobb Vanth, Marshall's Tale, Galaxy Mix.
Yes.
There you go. I like the club mix better, actually.
Ooh.
Myself. It's crunchier.
Freetown mix.
Yeah, the Freetown mix. Yeah.
All right, Jamie, you have the luxury of doing number 3 here, so no one will
steal your number 3.
Okay.
No stealing. Like you should still roll with what you have, but
yeah. Well, I wanted to give more variety as well, so
that's good.
That's that. So my number 3 is something from the Bad Batch. So from the Bad Batch season 2, the Kiners put together incredible score both seasons. Kevin, Sean, and Deanna, and I am obsessed with my pick for number 3, which is "Where I Fit," which is the song when Echo leaves the group in the middle of season 2, and it's a combination of the Bad Batch theme, the Clones theme, and Omega's theme. And it is the most haunting, like little delicate xylophone at the very end. It makes me sob every
Haunting
single time.
xylophone.
No, like I'm not even kidding. Like just like listen to the very end of it. It is absolutely gut wrenching. But the Clones theme absolutely decimates me every time I listen to it in the first place because it's just so strong and it's so good. But like hearing the 3 themes strung together so well, oh my god, it just I feel like I'm stabbed every time I hear it.
The Kiners are just unbelievable.
They have always been killing it, and the Bad Batch has really like pushed them to the limit of like all of their music, and I can't wait until they do Ahsoka and everything else that comes with it. So like I'm so excited.
I'm glad they're doing something. Obviously they do all the animation stuff for the most part. So like that's not like as mainstream. Obviously it is for us and all the hardcore people, but like to do something, live action is really cool.
Well, yeah, but they've also been able to do like other shows. Like I'm pretty sure they did Doom Patrol and a few other like random live action shows. But Star Wars, Ahsoka will be their first one. But yes, circling back, Where I Fit puts me into a absolute fit every time. I will just cry about it forever. Yeah.
Was that in your notes or was that improv?
No, that was all improv. Although I, before we recorded this episode, I did tweet about that. The fact that when I was doing my research, I kind of like shut down a little bit because I like re-listened to that entire song and just like had like a little sob about it. So,
yeah, anyway. I mean, with season 2 of Bad Batch, they worked in a lot of that clone theme in there, and like they wouldn't quite finish it. They'd be like doo doo, like they'd play the little theme of it.
Yeah, they would just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Doo-doo.
But yeah, I have a couple picks from Bad Batch as well. But Matt, what is your number 3?
Theme from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hey, that's on my honorable mentions.
Theme from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love that song.
It's really good.
I will say it's the only thing that I remember music-wise from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Unfortunately.
They would always play it in the credits.
Yeah,
it'd be the credit theme too, and it's like it'd be really cool.
And it's one of, if not the last Star Wars piece John Williams will probably ever write.
Oh wow, you're right.
I think I'm forgetting if he did something else. I feel like he did like another like thing where they're like, oh, it's John Williams, he's back and doing something else. But I feel like that was it. It was like he did the Solo theme, he did Galaxy's Edge, and then he did the theme for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think that's it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love when I think, it's funny because when I think of modern Star Wars music, like the last like 3 years, the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme is the first thing I think of for some reason. Like it's the one thing that I like immediately draw to in my mind and start like humming.
I like it a lot. Between the credit theme and also I think I made a little Instagram reel after Celebration. I was like sick in bed with COVID making it. And I put that theme to it. And it was like Matt walking around the hotel looking at someone spilled their macaroni on the ground.
Oh,
the Obi-Wan theme's just playing. Do 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 do.
That song is not powerful enough to convey the emotions I had looking at spilled macaroni as an Italian.
There's fireworks in the background and macaroni on the ground.
Like Disney, that is in the back.
No, that was a good choice. With my whole like list here, like I feel like any of them could be like 1 through 5 out of these 12 I have, if that makes sense. Like I could switch them all around, but my number 3 is Omega's theme.
Ooh.
I just think that's in the past handful of years. It's weird. I kind of think of like the post-COVID Star Wars years here, or you know what I mean? Like when we kind of started, it's kind of when Mandalorian started too. So when all these shows started, and with Bad Batch and everything, like Omega's theme, I think is one of the best pieces in all of that. And it's kind of like the Ray's theme of this era for me, which is fitting because I had Ray's theme as 3 last time, and now I have Omega's
there you
theme as
go.
3. I'm sure Jamie has a lot to say on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually. So that one's just amazing. It captures everything you want in Star Wars. It's just very lighthearted and there's a lot of hope in that song, which is kind of what Omega is about. So
I was about to say, lighthearted and hopeful is just Omega in general.
yeah, so it's just I
So
love
it's like
Omega,
a perfect representation
and I
of the
love her
character.
theme. Yeah. My turn again, back to back.
Yeah, because we're
This is a
going
good one.
backwards reverse order.
This one I had at number 1, and then I forgot about another one. And I was like, oh shoot, that one's number 1 actually.
Oh wow.
So I think this is how you say it, but it's Ship Ahoy Mandalorians! Exclamation mark.
Yeah,
It's Ship O
with
and
the
then
J.
HOJ Ahoy.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, they probably don't. That is like kind of the Bo-Katan theme. You know that one.
Oh, okay.
Which they continue to use anytime they show Bo-Katan into Mando season 3, and there's a lot of different variations of it in season 3 that I just love. So I just went with this one because that's the original when it started. I think her theme is just so cool. Just like the characters.
Well, I guess because they were on water.
Wasn't it Mandalorians Ahoy?
No.
Yeah. No.
That's
I'm
probably
pretty sure
another one.
there's another track like that though.
This one was Ship Ahoy Mandalorians.
I've
You
asked
talking about cookies
Mandalorian.
over there?
Who's got cookies?
Chip Ahoy.
Chip.
Oh,
you-
Chip Ahoy.
If I want to have a Chip Ahoy, I'm gonna have
Chip
Chip Ahoy.
Ahoy. There's our Seinfeld reference. But yeah, I
we
love
get that in SpongeBob, Seinfeld. What else? Check.
I love the Bo theme.
Yeah.
That Ludwig Göransson and then Joseph Shirley continued that in season 3, but Ludwig really got nuts with the score in season 2. He even did like that Dark Trooper mix.
The Dark
was
Trooper
very
theme.
Oh man.
electronic. I didn't
The
have that on my
dubstep.
honorable mentions, but it's an honorable to the honorable mentions. That one.
Honorable. Sounds good.
Yeah. So Matt, what is your number 2?
So mine is Open the Door.
Oh, that's a good. one.
Oh, good one.
Mando season 2. The goodbye between Din and Grogu. The original goodbye.
The only goodbye.
The only goodbye. I don't know why I said original. Like they split up again because they don't.
No.
But well, I guess no, because he never sees. No.
Anyway.
Open the door. Open the door. The original, the only goodbye between Mando and Grogu. Luke's standing there with his awkward face, and then Mando standing there with his awkward face. And the two of them. And then Grogu touches his chin. I honestly, like I said, this is actually the same as AJ, where I had this at number 1, and then I was like, actually, this song is more better. So I put that at number 1. But this was a very close number 2. And again, like one of the main things I think of when I think of The Mandalorian, this, other than the theme, this is the song I think about. This is the song I listen to the most. It might be one of my most played Star Wars songs on my Star Wars playlist too. It's just like, I mean, it's partly Grogu's theme, or partly. Okay, so there's a song.
I always think of Grogu's theme when I think of it.
Yeah, it is
with
Grogu's
the little
theme.
high pitched bit.
Yeah, the.
People are loving our
music people.
Yeah.
The trouble with it is we can't play the songs,
know.
because it's that kind of thing. We can just talk about it. So then you gotta hear us talk about it, and then you gotta go and play the song immediately after, and then you gotta come back to hear us talk about the next song.
I think people like to do that. I think they like to listen to this.
All right.
Then,
So if you're doing that, pause right now. No, actually pause after I tell you the songs to listen to. So don't pause right now. Listen to Snacks, which is from season 2, episode 2 of The Mandalorian, where he's looking at the eggs. Then listen to Reunited, which is season 2, episode 3. It's when Frog Lady meets with Frog Husband. That is phenomenal. But those two themes tie into Open the Door at the end, and then listen to Open the Door. So listen to those 3 in a row, pause right now, and go do that.
And let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah, are you back?
Welcome back.
What did you think? Are you crying? Go get a Kleenex. I can hear you.
Good, you're awake. Yeah, Open the Door is really good. That is
You're finally awake.
That is definitely one that I love from season 2 as well. Yeah, and it helped pack a punch for that quote unquote goodbye
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
didn't last very long. So
Nope.
Jamie, what is your number 2? And then
My number 2,
yeah.
Niamos.
Hey, there it is.
Yay!
It's Niamos.
Which mix?
I'm not changing that around. But yeah, I did the full like breakdown of it. So like we first hear Niamos in the club on Morlana. So that one's literally called the Morlana Club Mix, and that's the one that's really electronic. It's really gritty. It's really like deep. And it's good. That one's just nasty, but it's a really good like version of it. And then we hear the official one in Niamos, so like the Galaxy Mix, which is like the cruising on the coastline and everything's a party and it's literally just like space, like EDM. And I'm just like, holy shit. You guys know how I like was like reacting to Andor with the entire music in the first place because I'm just like obsessed with all of the score from Andor.
Same.
Yeah, and then the last Niamos mix was Niamos, the Coruscant Lounge mix, which I mentioned earlier, plays in the background at one of Mon Mothma's parties and is very slowed and reverbed. And it has just like lounge mix in the background.
All I can think of is like the X-Men Magneto meme, the perfection meme of I prefer this
and each of us have a different one. Yeah. I would definitely pick Club Mix for perfection, but that's just me.
And I guess I would choose Galaxy Mix.
Well, I would also pick the Galaxy Mix, but the Lounge Mix is also pretty funny. But yeah, I love everything that came out with like the Niamos exclamation mark, and I love coming up with like tweets that are just like HoloNet Marauders exclamation mark. The music podcast revisited mix.
Yeah.
I want to say
that should be the name of the episode.
No, we can't do that.
While we're on the topic of Andor.
Yeah.
While
Nicholas
we're on the topic of Andor,
I tweeted out yesterday.
Freaking room.
I tweeted out yesterday thinking about Andor. Just like I have random things like that. I'll tweet it out. Hey, thinking about this. Thinking about Andor. And everyone was like, "Oh, I always think about Andor." Same, whatever. But I was going through the soundtracks and trying to like remember what I liked so much. And I was like, God, Andor was so good. Like the music just sent me back there. It was last fall was just so good. And watching Andor.
I know you texted me last night and you're like, man, last fall.
Yeah, you never responded.
Andor. I didn't. I think I fell asleep on you. I don't remember why.
I don't think it was that late. But yeah, I mean, I'll get to an honorable mention right now because we're kind of at that stage. But the Andor main theme.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
It's honorable mentions.
It's so slow and whatever, but like I just think of the theme and then like the stupid planet logo appearing, and was it your dad, Matt? Thinking it was
my dad. Every single time, every single episode,
he wasn't alone.
The opening would turn, and then he would turn to me and he would always go this. He'd go, huh, and then he'd turn to me and he'd go, I thought that was a planet. I thought this was the beginning of the episode. And I said, you say that every week, dude, every week.
And they kind of switched up the theme every week too. It was like a little bit different. And at the end, you had like the band one for the,
and that's
just the.
I don't know if you have that as number one. I don't know if either of you have that as number one, but that's on my number one in honorable mentions. Is the band song that they
the march.
The Ferrix Funeral March.
Ferrix Funeral March is awesome, and I don't know why, but I always associate it with the music they play in Godfather 2. when
it's a funeral march.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's supposed to invoke that. It's a funeral march. Okay, can I just say, we have like the references to the Godfather in Star Wars. We have like this like funeral march like that, but then we also have like Boba Fett getting like the Mailer runs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Process. So like
good stuff.
Anyway,
that's what it is.
Do you want to talk number ones or keep talking honorable mentions?
No, honorable mentions. Let's get them out. So we got a couple of.
So more about Andor, really quick. So I have to mention.
My name is Kino Loy.
Yes, but I was gonna mention a different one first. But yeah, my name is Kino Loy. The entire One Way Out sequence. I mean, we're with them on the prison for like 2.5 episodes, and so like it really the score in that entire time is so good because it makes you feel like you're there and you're like alienated in this prison. And My Name is Kino Loy is just so powerful overall, and I think I like listed that as like my favorite track of like the year, like last year. Remembering correctly, when we did like our like Marauders, it was at least like an honorable mention, if not. But now it's just an honorable mention. But I absolutely love that sequence. But then also in Andor, B2's theme, when you see him for the first time and he's like cresting the hill and it's like doom 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 doom.
I love
That is
B2.
And
good.
he's just like putting along and
He's the
so good.
best.
Love B2.
Cassian.
Cassian.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm so glad he's alive.
Why can't Andor be more than 2 seasons?
I don't.
Although sometimes the best things are like that.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Another really good Andor track I wrote down. Taurus Don't Run, when the shore trooper is chasing Cassian on Niamos, because that one's another one that's like really
And he's
dark.
sweating.
It's really it's heavy
It's
with
hot.
the electronic and everything, and
I'm sweating because it's hot.
It's so good. It's
hot.
another really
Are you a
good
part
track.
of it?
Hot as what?
It's
hot.
Off of Andor, I had Where the Echoes Roam. We talked about
Yes.
the Coruscant Street Fair.
Yes, that's
What's
what
the one
I
I
was combined.
Yeah,
From what?
from
Mando season 3.
Mando 3.
Oh, okay.
The little
is that
fair.
The one with the? Is that the one with the March of the Resistance in?
Yeah.
Like the,
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's
That
great.
part is just that was one of the ones I was talking about earlier. That I was like, when that came out, I had to listen to that
That one
Yeah.
is
Why'd
so
you
good.
think I was thinking of that?
because it was awesome.
Because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
so,
true,
it's so
sure.
corny. It's so good. It's almost
Yeah.
like the parade music. That's
Would it-
probably
it-
why like he thought you were thinking of that one.
I have unironically, and maybe this is bad. Maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I have unironically listened to the Imperial March, but like the happy, like the triumphant, like victorious
solo one.
in-universe Imperial theme.
Yeah.
Like unironically, love that. I love it. That's like
You
it's
drive
such
to work listening to it.
Yeah. Can't wait to serve the Empire. Hey. Giving a waving at everyone. No, but honestly, like, I know that it came up before, so I can't put it on my honorable mentions, but it should be. Also,
I noticed a lot of the. I'll just say quickly. A lot of the ones we're choosing here are like in-universe pieces.
I know,
which is
they're really
really
stepping
cool
up
and
their
fun.
in-universe game.
They are.
What?
Like a lot of the music in Survivor probably could have. I probably could have put on the on my honorable mentions, but I don't know any of their names, so I didn't do any research.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What really is HoloNet Marauders if one of us is not talking about in-universe music? Honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To go off of that, I'll give you 2 tracks from Jedi Survivor that I absolutely love.
All
That
right.
DDEC and Ashiavi are playing over there, who I absolutely love.
Yeah, I remember when I went over your house and you had the game paused in the photo mode and you were taking 20,000 pictures of her, and you're sitting there, you're taking photos of her ass over and over and over again, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not asking any questions. I'm just rolling with the punches. And then AJ's like, "Oh, she's doing this for her costume," and I'm like,
"Yes."
I'm over there just scrolling. She's doing this for her costume.
And I'm sitting there watching you go,
look,
snapping pictures of her ass.
Survivor has a really good photo mode, obviously, for this exact reason, so you can get all the details and everything. But for Ash, she really is in the bar the entire time, and so it was when I first found her, like outside by wherever, and I wanted her in that lighting, so I was getting as many photos as I could in all the 360 shots while she was outside, because the rest of the time during the game she's inside at the bar and you can't really see her back, so I needed those pictures. Anyway, my 2 favorite songs that they discover are called Ebb and Flow, which is from Yub Nub Zek and the main characters, also known in real life as the band Joywave. And then my other favorite one is Assyrian Vasahina by The Who. In universe,
Gotta
the
love
Agasar.
The Who. Yeah,
I'm so glad that they came back. The Who is wild. Like, I love how they actually
Do we know?
Appeared out of nowhere.
I want them in the next I was getting next Survivor game. Now we're doing this all over again. Next Fallen Order game. The next Jedi series game. I want to see The Who. I want to see what they look like.
They go to a concert.
Yeah, or like they're on the screen, or they're playing on the HoloNet or something. Like,
there you go. And they look like the beats from Doug.
That should be a promotional thing. If this was like the late 90s, early 2000s, they would do that. But
yeah, you're right.
But it's not.
Lucasfilm, if you're listening, and I know you are, hit me up with ideas about that, because
there's plenty. Yeah, maybe
KVS could go to a concert.
The Outlaws music. I just want to say the trailer music for Outlaws. I almost put that on this list. I love the trailer music for Outlaws.
It is really good.
God knows I've watched that trailer 20 friggin' times by now, but that music is sincerely good, and I cannot wait to get like the actual soundtrack.
The gameplay music trailer was good, or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So my honorable mentions
Yeah.
were Teacher's Pet
Okay.
from
Stealing the
Book of
cookies?
Boba Fett. That's the one. That's Luke and Grogu training. That's
Oh,
the music that plays during Luke and Grogu's training.
When he's running through the forest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they stop and they breathe in, and he says, feel the force around you, and it stops and it plays the
Everything you
theme,
see is yours, son.
Yeah. Grogu's like, yes, I can't wait to be king. And then
And he
Above the
leaves.
Clouds, which is from Survivor. It's the music
Yeah.
that like builds as you travel like up to the
up to
observatory, and then up to Dagon, all the way up. You go up into the clouds. And and when the music swells and you exit the elevator and it just explodes and there's this giant like dogfight just happening around you, and Bode's flying in his Z95.
Welcome to the party, pal.
He's blowing all the vulture droids out. That's basically what he says. And you're just like jumping around trying to get through it all. That's such an epic set.
But you're
Great
missing
music for that.
one important thing. You told us in your playthrough you had to see Scuba Stev before you did all that. Or in like the middle of that
true.
or something.
No, legitimately, right before I went to face Dagon, I was just walking around and Scuba Stev was there, and I said, shit. I was like planning to like build up like this big epic moment, and then Scuba Stev was like, "Oh, Kyle," and I'm like,
I gotta see a man about some fish.
And then I listened to his story for like 20 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, now.
All right, see you.
Dagon's just pacing back and forth in the observatory with his lightsaber out.
Oh my god! One more Survivor score song.
Okay.
Off of that, Fields of Dusk, which is like the main Jeddah theme. So when you're first exploring with Marin, that's what's playing in the background, and it's very sweeping. It's very deep.
It's a chill one.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's good.
Good stuff.
I have one more honorable mention, and Jamie, I think you'll like this one. The Doctor from Bad Batch season 2. It's Dr. Hemlock's theme. It's so good.
Absolutely.
It might be.
I know that one off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yes.
It might be. It's underrated. It might be one of the best pieces of the season. It just made the villain Dr. Hemlock there like so much more evil feeling. He already was really creepy, but
one thing that's
it's kind of got like the organy like Thrawn in there like a little bit, and it's good.
Yeah, one thing that's super interesting about listening to music through a streaming service is you can see how many listens there are, which is data that I didn't really think that I wanted, and I still kind of don't, but it's interesting. But looking into like the scores for the Bad Batch so far, season 1 has been listened to extensively. Season 2 has not been listened to as much, but The Doctor is one of the most listened to songs out of season 2 so far. And then
like
Where I
everyone?
Fit. What?
Like
yeah, because it shows like across the data. Yeah, that's one of the most listened to songs.
The Doctor's good.
I have a couple Bad Batch honorable mentions before I give my number 1. I gotta say Sid's Jukebox Mix.
Yeah, good
love
one.
we love
more
the mixes
in-universe
here.
music. I love all the random like mixes like in
Not
like
Roland's
Bad Batch.
mix though.
Roland's mix is kind of mid, but I like Sid's obviously. I like Moko's. His has like a good like a club ambiance in his like lunchroom. And then there's also like Scorpion's mix. It's like another like bar that they're in season 2. That's the name of the bar was Scorpion's Mix, but it was when they're in the bar in season 2 and like Hunter jumps across the table and like knifes the guy
With the poison?
The
Indiana Jones bar?
Is like no, don't drink that. Like is that
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But my other favorite mix, which isn't a club mix, but is a mix, it's the racing mix, which is the
amount of times we've said mix this episode.
The racing episode. Oh god, what was the kind of racing that tech did?
Riot racing.
Riot racing. Sorry,
I forgot. I love Riot racing.
But yeah, I love the racing mix. When that one came out, I think the score came out like right after that episode did for the first half of the season so far, and that song is officially the song that I play when I go to like get like a Arnold Palmer at like CVS around the corner. It's exactly the amount of like song length that I like need, and it's fantastic. It really gets me going.
You speed there, of course.
No, I don't. Like I said, it takes the entire time.
Back into the dumpster for good luck.
There you go. For the record, that was not me. That was someone else. So one other song, from the Bad Batch that was really, really good was season 2, The Good Soldier, which is Crosshair's theme at the end of the episode with Mayday, in which it's his theme song, which is really, really intense, but it's swelling intense. It's in that moment that he's like, all of his like perils have like come to a head, and he's like, this is as much as I can do, and you can just tell. now I'm sad again about the clones.
All right, number one. What do you got?
So my number one was Omega's theme.
Back to the actual list.
Hey, all right.
Hey, well deserved.
For all of the
Had so
reasons
much
that I've
back.
already mentioned this episode so far, it's just Omega means so much to me already. For being a brand new Star Wars character, and her theme is perfect for her. And the Kiners have just absolutely killed it with her theme song, and I can't wait to experience like the rest of the galaxy with her. But her theme song is definitely going to be one of my favorite Star Wars songs for a very long time.
Kiners, if you're listening,
And I know
we'd
you
love
are.
to have you on the show to talk about.
I don't know why
your
I
music.
know you are, but you are.
We
We'd
don't
love
know.
to have you on our show. Come on our show. We need to talk to you. I have so many questions.
Yes, please. Matthew, what's your number one?
Matthew.
Matthew's
my
on the
mom?
TV.
My mom. Only my mom calls me Matthew. Ugh. Number one is Kara and Father from The Ninth Jedi.
Wow.
That is, yeah.
I was gonna say what a throwback, but it's not.
That
long
is
ago.
such a good song. I can't even do it justice. Pause right now. Go listen to it. All right, you're back.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. Because oh my God, how good was that song? That is literally. Oh, and I don't know who made it. I should have written down who composed that song, because whoever it was, they
What was the name of
managed-
it?
Kara and Father, Kara and Father. They managed to just really just nail like the wonderment of Star Wars music to a fault. I mean, it is just so epic, so sweeping, and it kind of sounds like the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, but better.
The Ninth Jedi was composed by Nobuko Toda and Kazuma Jinochi.
Good job.
Yes.
There you go.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Gals.
There it
I
is.
don't know. I can't tell. But awesome job on them. Give it a listen if you haven't, if you forgot, if you haven't watched The Ninth Jedi in a while. I know I haven't. I have to fix that. Awesome song.
Yeah.
That whole short is just like top tier.
That was your favorite one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's still my favorite.
Probably
Yeah.
it's up there for me. I mean, it was so good, and then you have T-Bot.
Tiva.
Everyone forgets about T-Bot. I
It's
didn't.
so good, and then T-Bot is like,
Yeah, he's like the Scuba Stev of that. It's like
Literally.
this story's awesome, the characters are great, but then you have this guy, and it's like
But then
Yeah,
you
this
have
funny
T-Bot.
droid.
puts it over the top.
Mm,
So
Oh, can I share my Visions honorable mention before you say your number one, AJ?
yes, sure.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mention it, but my Visions honorable mention is The Village Bride. So the theme from The
Ooh.
Village Bride,
Mhm.
which is Kevin Penkin and Emmy Evans. That's one of the only ones that had actual singing in it as well. And I don't know, that one just like I hum that one to myself a lot. It's one that's always stuck in my head. And Village Bride was my favorite for Vision season 1. So it's just another one that I'm just like, yeah.
Ranking music is just like impossible
It
because
really is. This was so hard.
you'll change your mind and like so often for it too. Like I mean, you could hear a song too many times, you're like, okay, like, and then you hear something new, like it's literally the Back to the Future. That new sound you're looking for. Listen to this.
Listen
Like
to
when you hear Nymos, it's like holy shit. Like,
now I'm picturing that scene, but he holds up the phone and
I should make that. I'm gonna make that when I'm done with this.
you have to.
That's good.
You have to.
So
That's too good.
my number one, we already talked about it, was the Book of Boba Fett main title theme. Just incredible. Like that when that came out, I was just like, wow, like it's so piratey. That was Ludwig, right?
Yes, Ludwig and
Yeah.
Joseph Shirley.
And Joseph Shirley. Okay, they did
Yeah.
it together. Just incredible. Like when I make these lists, I do make like my favorite ones, but then I'm like, okay, favorites. What do I think is like actually the best? To like, I thought that was just dynamite. Matt mentioned the Kenobi theme, which is excellent as well. But like the Book of Boba Fett theme was like ridiculously excellent. If that makes sense. Like it.
Book of Boba Fett was ridiculously excellent. I'll go on record saying that.
Wow.
Like,
It was
it was.
it was very.
I'm all for more Book of Boba Fett love. More Book of Boba Fett love.
It was very disjointed.
yes.
And I forget how disjointed it was sometimes, but like it was phenomenal.
There
It
are a
had
couple of silly moments, but when the hell has that ever
the silly
taken our
stuff doesn't
enjoyment
bother
away
me.
from Star Wars?
It's just the disjointed storytelling. But other than that, it was I loved it. I really
loved it.
And we all know, as Matt and I were saying yesterday on our Outlaws talk that we have on YouTube here. I love like the Syndicate stuff, like the crime world stuff in Star Wars. So.
Mr. Pikes aren't the main villains, right?
Yeah, and maybe they still aren't. Maybe there's still someone higher up.
You're right.
But yeah, Book of Boba Fett theme. Jamie mentioned it, I think, as your number 5, right?
Yeah.
I have it at number 1, which, like I said before, like these could go in any order, really. But there it is. Did we do all of ours?
I think so.
That was all mine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun.
Unless you wanted to pick your favorite overall album.
No, we have to rank posters now.
No, we don't ranking any posters.
What are you talking about?
We could rank.
I don't have it in here, but I have one.
Off the top of our heads, we're gonna do these guys.
Oh boy.
So it might be a little messy, but maybe not. We had our other list prepared, but this one we don't. So we'll do albums, quote unquote albums, which is weird because a lot of the things are split in 2.
Yes, so I would count like a full season.
A full season
as an album.
Okay. I'm gonna do mine real quick. Just thinking here, from 3 to 1. Oh,
you went 3? I only prepared 2.
Okay, you can say whatever. I don't care. The end goal here is to see what your favorite one is. I don't know. I mean,
good.
Andor might be my number 1.
Yeah. Andor. Nicholas Bertel. Andor.
Book of Boba Fett.
And The Bad Batch, season 2 for me.
Okay, clearly. I mean, you had the whole album on your honorable mentions. Matt, what about you?
For 3, I'm going Book of Boba Fett. For 2, I'm going Mando season 2, and for 1, I'm going Jedi Survivor. Those are my 3 favorite soundtracks.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Jamie and I are like yelling around here, and you were like quietly sitting back, like, and came out with a good list.
He was letting us just like.
What about Andor? Where's Andor?
Andor was awesome. I left Andor out.
For Andor?
But I think it was a curveball with Survivor.
Because I love.
No, I think you're right. Survivor was phenomenal.
When Andor starts and you hear beep 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 beep, oh man, I'll lose it. I lose it every time.
Did we talk about the funeral march? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we talked about the
funeral march. The Godfather and all that.
And but the synths in Andor. I'm a synth guy. I love synths.
I know.
Big synth guy.
It's so Blade Runner-y.
So that I'm gonna put as number 2.
Number 1A.
All right.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, good. All right, top posters.
All right, top posters.
That's
for me. What?
Bad Batch poster was good.
Yeah, so I got a couple options.
All right.
First option is this one. That you got.
Oh, but no.
Season 2?
And the other podcast way back when, it was like official poster. It couldn't be like.
So it has to be the official theatrical poster.
Because I remember I mentioned the Last Jedi.
I love the official art for the Bad Batch poster as well, both of them, season 1 and season 2. Although I will say season 1 is a stronger poster than season 2 of the Bad Batch, because they're all minus Omega on it in the first one.
True.
The second one, Crosshair is missing. But yeah.
Well, the third one will have all of them. Wait, no.
Oh my God, we better.
No, we won't.
It won't have all of them. Ow!
Matt, what's your favorite poster?
Hold on, I'm in pain. Give me a sec.
Actual pain?
No, emotional pain. Give me a sec.
I thought you like having an ice cream headache or something.
I did. I gave myself an emotional ice cream headache. All right,
time to go to Friendlies.
Soon. My favorite poster would probably be Book of Boba Fett, the one that came out at the very end of the run with all the characters on it, not the individual character posters, but the one.
And Cobb was on it.
Broad one with Cobb, Luke Skywalker,
Cad Bane,
Bo-Katan, Cad Bane,
Mok Shaiz,
and
the bike swoop gang.
Why did I say Bo-Katan is in it? She's not in it. She wasn't in Book of Boba Fett.
You're just very excited.
No.
Maybe she is on that poster, but no one's really noticed it.
That's it.
Just throw her in.
That poster is
the Mando. The final, like, it was weird that they kept like they do that where they release like more posters throughout the season. Like, remember Star Wars Celebration this year? It was like the 2 episodes left of Mando, and they were like, "Oh, here's one final poster," and then after that episode, they made another one because they put the Praetorian Guards on it. Yeah, that poster's really cool with Mando with the Darksaber. Oh wait, maybe Bo-Katan has it at that point. But then like the Praetorian Guards are just there in their bright red costumes in the middle of it.
I love that. All of the posters they release at the end are always the best. Andor did have one like that, I think. Let me check.
Andor's was very.
Oh yeah, here it is.
As
Well, this was like that was like the original one, right?
Mishmash. Yeah, it was just like
Mishmash.
I don't know. Sometimes like I don't
It's
know.
the one with
I don't know
the
what to say.
it's the one with like the orange and there's like the sun, and Andor's like looming over everybody, and then you have like
I
Saw.
literally just held it up.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah.
I tabbed out because I was looking for the poster. There it is! Yay!
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a poster that like stole the show for me.
Well, the one that did steal the show for me apparently isn't an official poster.
Oh, it's got the Hutts on it. It has the Hutts. It has the Tusken Raiders. It has Ahsoka, Luke,
Black Chrysanthemum.
Boba, Black Chrysanthemum, Mando
All
with
right.
the Darksaber, and Cad Bane.
That's the one.
Oh my god. You cannot get it any better than that.
Bum, 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 bum.
I think
Bum, bum, bum.
one other one that might get away with it is this one, which I have in a giant canvas in my workspace, you know.
Ooh.
So
That's
it's the
another one
Bad
of those
Batch.
busy ones.
Yeah, Bad Batch season 1, but it's literally everyone is on it, like including like Hauser, Depa Balaba, like they're just like in the background. So like
Caleb.
yeah, he's on it. It's great.
Yep.
Like anyway,
So there
yeah,
was our deep dive into the music, and then because we remembered, we talked about those other things in that second ever episode,
we
posters
talked
and
about it again.
albums.
Yep.
Very half-assed at the end there, but we did a good job.
It's okay.
It was
It's
a
all right.
classic. I want to see. I'm looking up something quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, something
Okay.
good.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah?
It is. So this is episode 107
Oh.
that we're doing right now. 105 episodes ago. No. Yeah. 105
Yeah.
episodes ago we talked about music.
You're right. 5
did it
plus
again.
2 is 7. You're right. You nailed
That
it.
was tough.
That was tough. I
right.
can't even make
I
fun
got
of you
an
because
ice cream
I'm not a
headache.
math guy. I'm not a math guy at all. That would have taken me months.
Anyway.
Wow.
comments below.
7 episodes.
Let us know
6 months.
what your favorite tracks are. Tracks. There we go. Pieces.
Tracks.
I'm pretty sure we've
Pieces.
realized that this entire
Tracks.
time.
We're
But all
back
right.
on track.
Whew, and on that, we're gonna shut down for the evening. Thank
already
you everyone
shut
for watching the show tonight, for hanging out with us, of doing our top soundtracks in the Star Wars universe since fall of 2020 to now, so mid 2023. And excuse me. If you've been listening to the audio version of this, we have a video version on YouTube. If you've been watching the YouTube version of us, you can take this to go on your favorite audio listening platform in podcast form. You can find us everywhere on social media at HoloNet Marauders, or just on Twitter at HoloNet Marauder. And we have a Patreon if you guys are interested in that. See some behind the scenes content. And we always have a lot of
Giveaway.
fun stuff coming up here on HoloNet Marauders. So we'll see you next time on the HoloNet Marauders podcast.